Gog, Magog, Juj, Majuj, Maitreya, LHC, Large Hadron Collider, and the Quran. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. What is Gog, Magog? Who are Gog, Magog? Right, I believe there's a link between Gog and Magog and the Tower of Babel, according to the Bible. There were people who had a one universal language which gave them power to cause corruption. I personally think this was telepathic with possible telekinetic powers. I believe Gog Magog was a stargate, a portal in which humans would open a gateway to another dimension. I believe jinns, fallen angels, demons, or gods as the people perceive them to be, were the malevolent creatures that gave those men that called them their powers to cause corruption in the land. I also feel this is how the pyramids were made. I believe this stargate to be the Earth's third eye or pineal gland, which is situated between two mountains in Tibet. Both the Bible and the Quran talk about this portal being destroyed, but that it would reopen near the end of time, i.e. the barrier being reopened near the end of time. That's why all the Satanists make that sign, I believe. I believe the internet and instant messaging communication was the first step in the barrier being reopened in 1971, with the first email being sent. I believe the internet's main purpose was to create the Large Hadron Collider. Without the internet, it would not have been possible. The LHC being turned on also sped up the internet tremendously. They helped each other, vice versa. I believe the Stargate portal will fully reopen when the LHC is running at full capacity in late 2014, 2015, according to CERN. All pagan religions, including Freemasonry, where worship of gods Lucifer is required, are all awaiting the return of their gods, Maitreya, Messiah, the Messianic consciousness, to return with the fruits in their New Age agenda, where men will become gods from the technological singularity. According to Benjamin Cream, Rael and Drunvalo, we are almost, if not in the age of Aquarius, i.e. the return of the aliens, UFOs, gods, all the same thing, demons, evil creatures. Unfortunately, the powerful people of this planet who secretly worship Lucifer, Satan's demons, fallen angels, jinns, cause much corruption and much division on this earth because they believe through their sins, sacrifices and orgies they will become enlightened and eventually gods. Do some research into Aleister Crowley. I agree with Rashad Khalifa's Day of Judgment discoveries. The moon splitting in 1969, Apollo 11. The creature in 1974. The computer which discovered the 19 miracle. Messenger of the Covenant, 1988. I also believe the smoke prophecy in the Quran mentioned in chapter 44 and Book of Revelation chapter 9 verses 1 to 11 refers to the Kuwaiti oil fires of 1991. As this is not long after Rashad Khalifa wrote to the Muslim world and they rejected him. The Quran states the smoke would also cover people who thought they were believers, who can only be referred to as Muslims. Although I believe Rashad Khalifa was a messenger of God, I still believe he was a human being who was allowed to make mistakes, so as to not be worshipped. It does not make logical sense that all the signs have happened according to the Quran, but Gog and Magog will reappear in approximately 200 years. But thanks to Rashad Khalifa in pointing out to me that Gog and Magog appeared in chapters 18 and 21, 17 verses from the end in both chapters. I believe this represents, or he believed, and I agree with it, that it represents 1700 AH, which is the Islamic calendar. I will now use 309 for my calculations. God mentions the number 309 also in chapter 18, and he says that number is so you will be sure about the end of time. The number represents the sleepers in the cave. I think the story is also mentioned in the Bible. Right, 1700 take away 309 equals 1391, Islamic date. Convert that to Christian date, you get 1971, which is when the first email was sent, modern day telepathy. Also, 1700 plus 309 equals 2009, which is when the collider was switched on and fully up and running. But it was closed, I think, a few months later, after a bird dropped a piece of bread, apparently, onto some equipment, damaging it. I see that as a sign from God, showing the corruptors that they have no power besides Him. Okay. By the way, the 9/11 Twin Towers event happened in 2001, 9 years after 1992, which was the end of the oil fires, and 11 years before 2012. What is uncanny is that God mentions that He will not keep the day of resurrection hidden in chapter 20, verse 15. 2015. In 2015, the LHC was supposedly hit its target of 14 TeV, which is full power. Could this open a black hole and collapse the universe, causing Judgment Day? For God also says in the Quran for humans not to hurry in causing Judgment Day, seeing how all the other signs were man-made, i.e. God carried them out through man, because God is doing everything. We just make the choice whose side to be on, good or evil. I can see the relationship. I highly recommend watching The Truth is from God 6. All one word, 6 being the number 6. The Truth is from God 6 videos. Video channel. You might find them very informational. Also, between the first sign, which was in 1969, the splitting of the moon, Apollo 11, when they brought pieces of moon rock back from the moon, and the last sign, which finished in 1992, the smoke, there are 23 years. There are also 23 years between 1992 and 2015. Chapter 23 in the Quran is called The Believers. Allah knows best. Now, why do I believe the Quran is the word of God? It has a physical, mathematical proof of a code 19 running through it. The Quran even mentions the number and says how it will prove to the world that the Quran is the word of God. The miracle can be verified by yourself in English in Rashad Khalifa's appendices. I believe his translation was authorized by God, and it can be viewed on www.submission.org. Submission.org. Please bear in mind his other appendices were his own opinions. Peace be with you.